Hey all, welcome to the fourth Rich to Wealthy podcast episode. I'm Steven.
And I'm Mark. And today we have a short but fun topic to discuss with you.
So, what are we going to talk about today?
Golf.
Golf, okay. What about golf?
Well, let me tell you an interesting story about what a bunch of rich people who want to become wealthy can do when they join together and act as one.
So you're saying they want to go from rich to wealthy?
Yes, they do.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Do tell.
So the story begins in a small town called Augusta, Georgia. It's the site of the Augusta National Golf Club, and every year, rabid golf fans descend on this town to watch the most famous golf tournament in the world, the Masters. And the town residents, they thought to themselves, wouldn't it be great if we could rent out our houses to these golf fans who will pay us a lot of money and not pay any tax on that rent?
That does sound like a pretty sweet deal. So I'm going to put two and two together here and guess that we're talking about the Augusta Rule, or Section 280A of the tax code. So what is this rule?
It's a tax advantage rule loophole that anyone, thanks to those brave Augustans, can utilize. So basically, you can rent out your house to someone or something else like a business without owing any tax on the proceeds for up to 14 days.
So you can rent for 14 straight days or 2 days a month for 7 months, for example. It just has to be no more than 14 total days in the calendar year, or else you lose the tax benefit.
Also remember that because the income is tax-free, you also cannot deduct any expenses associated with the rental.
Okay, so how do we apply this? Like, can I rent out an office building?
Unfortunately, no. It only applies to anyone who owns a personal residence in the U.S. That could be a primary home, a second home, vacation home, even a mobile home.
And we should note that this is of particular interest to business owners because not only can they get tax-free income, but they can also get a tax deduction on their own company. So there are some things to keep in mind, right?
Yeah, for one, you need to have the right business structure in place. It has to be a partnership, multi-member LLC, or a corporation. Basically, any business that is not taxed solely on your own individual 1040, but also has a business return.
Also, you need to have rock solid documentation in place in case of an audit. So you need to have a true business purpose, such as a business meeting or a retreat, and you need to properly and thoroughly document it, such as through like meeting minutes or attendance records, pictures, or anything else you can use to prove that it actually happened.
You should also have a formal written rent agreement in place. The rent has to be fair market value, so you can't charge like 8x what everyone else in your area would be charging.
That is a shame. And so the business should issue a 1099 to you. And you're still going to report the income on your Schedule E, but the income will be excluded. There's a special way to report your taxes when you're taking advantage of this loophole. So just make sure your tax preparer is familiar with how to properly file these to reduce the chance of an audit.
Lastly, remember that you cannot use this rule if you take a home office deduction. Also, if your company pays you home office rent, you want to make sure that's reimbursed under a company accountable plan instead, so you don't run afoul of the 14-day rule.
Accountable plan?
Yes. That sounds like another Rich to Wealthy podcast topic. Stay tuned, folks.
Okay, so that wraps up another episode. And where can they find us, Mark?
Find us on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, and Spotify. And make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
See you next time.
See ya.
This episode contains general financial education and advice. Always consult a competent and trusted financial advisor, attorney, accountant, or other professional counsel to discuss suitability for your specific situation.